Okay, now we'll take a question from Chicago.
Hello, this is Helen Roberts from the University of Illinois at Chicago Center for Economic Education. So I teach all ages. There's widespread misunderstanding about how the Federal Reserve supports the economy and the short run and long run effects of monetary policy. Students sometimes think of the Fed as being in a position to solve all economic problems, and then some also believe that the Federal Reserve is not doing enough to fix the economy, and they blame it for addressing problems that really are the responsibility of fiscal policy. What do you think the Federal Reserve needs to do to educate the public, along with us, about the limits of monetary policy so that people have more realistic expectations?
Well, your basic point is absolutely right. The Federal Reserve is an important economic policy institution. Monetary policy, as well as financial regulation, have very important roles to play in providing a stable economy, stability involving both stability in terms of growth and employment and stability in terms of prices. But as I've often said, monetary policy is not a panacea. It doesn't solve all problems. There are many, many issues that are more appropriately dealt with by the fiscal authorities through tax policy or through spending decisions. And beyond that, there are decisions made by trade policymakers, education policymakers, all the different areas of economic policy. I think it should be a basic part of civics or government or whatever heading you put that under, that students understand that the government is not just the Congress administration. There are many other institutions, including the Federal Reserve, but including regulators as well, and to have a sense of what these institutions do and how they divide their responsibilities, I think is very basic bit of economic education. We've been sort of putting together in this discussion two kinds of financial and economic education. There's sort of the personal type of education where understanding better how the stock market works may help you make better investments and better financial decisions. But there's also the kinds of education that involves understanding how our society works to make you a better citizen and a better able to understand what's happening in world events. And this is certainly in that latter category. A basic understanding of modern government involves understanding the principal economic policy institutions and their division of labor. Monetary policy, again, as you say, is very important. The Federal Reserve is the primary institution involved in that. It has the important role of providing long-term stability in prices, that is low inflation. It can be very helpful in helping to restore full employment by providing support for a recovery. But in particular, the long-term types of things like providing a strong educational system, providing a good tax code, creating free trade, helping unemployed workers gain skills that they need, and so on and so on. There's so many of these things which are really responsibilities of a wide variety of economic policymakers, together with, in many cases, together with the private sector, working with the private sector. So I basically agree with your point that it's important for students to understand who does what and what the different types of policy can achieve.